Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Blunt or Howard. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name?
Who are you? You don't know who you are. My brother's busy riding clean, trying to live ghetto stars, while I struggle in black queens with kids, no fathers, on welfare.
We are celebrating the last week of Hebrew History Month. It's been a glorious month.
Glorious.
Yes, and the world calls it Black History. But because we are Hebrews and we are black people, then this month was renamed by Brother Micaiah a couple of years ago.
Hallelujah.
This is actually Hebrew History Month.
Yes, it is. That's what we
We
need.
want to be sure that we understand that this is what we're celebrating. This is a time of year where you can see more things about us as a people on TV and on the internet and different places. So the title of the sermon is, Though Abraham be ignorant of us, and Israel acknowledge us not. So Yahweh has shown us in this session that He chose the nation of Israel, who are also called the nation of Hebrews, to represent Him in the earth. And Yahweh showed us that He talked to different Hebrew men and women. And Yahweh showed us that Abraham would be ignorant of the people that are Hebrews today, because they don't look like Hebrews, they don't talk like Hebrews, they know nothing about Yahweh, they know nothing about the Shabbat day, they know nothing about wearing tzitzits and the different things that Yahweh told them to wear to distinguish themselves. As a matter of fact, they not only know nothing about it, but they'll tell you to get away from them because they don't want to hear about it.
Right.
They are the only people in the world as a nation that don't want to be what they are, which are the Hebrews. Well, we started looking at the fact that there are people that are claiming that they are the Hebrews, and Yahweh showed us that He calls them liars.
Okay, that's what they are.
We're not going to go there again. We went to Revelation 2 and 9, and we went to Revelation 3 and 9. So let's start out in Bereshith or Genesis, the 27th chapter, because Yahweh calls these people that are saying that they're Hebrews, and they're not the only ones that are claiming they're Hebrews.
Not.
Yahweh showed us in the last show that now you got like the sodomite rainbow. Now you have people claiming that the Hebrew nation is a rainbow. And they want to put Mexicans in there, they want to put Chinese in there, they want to put Indians in there. And meanwhile, the people that are really the Hebrews say, I don't want no part of that. I'm not a Hebrew. They're talking about they're Muslims, they're talking about they're Baptists, they're talking about they're talking about they're Catholic.
A religion.
All right, but now we're looking at one of the groups that are claiming that they're Hebrews. Yahweh said that they're lying, and He also said that they're of the synagogue of Hasatan.
Okay, thus says Yahweh.
So we're going to go to Genesis, the 27th chapter, and we want to start out in verse 38. Like, who are these people that Yahweh says are the ones that have the financial wealth to broadcast that they are the Hebrews, but He says they're lying.
Right.
So we find these people who Yahweh says are the synagogue of Satan in Genesis 27 chapter, and we want to start reading at verse 38. Genesis 27, and let's read verse 38, please.
And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So it says, and I saw Amar to his Abba, hast thou but one barakah, my Abba? Barak me, even me also, O my Abba. And I saw lifted up his voice and cried. What happened before this was, this man called Iyshah sold his birthright. He was the elder son of these Hebrews, Yitzchak and Rivkah, or Isaac and Rebekah. They had 2 sons. One of them was like you and I are, black folks, and the other was red and hairy, looking like a Caucasian. All right? And Yahweh told his mother that 2 nations would be born of her. So you can read up further in Genesis 27 chapter and Genesis 26, and you can see the life story of this particular person, Esau. But you're looking at the fact that Esau sold his blessing to his brother Yaakov. Well, now you have some people that are standing up claiming that they are the Hebrews. The Hebrews came from Yaakov. We already saw that. So now they're standing up claiming that they are the Hebrews and they came from Yaakov. But really, this is the man right here that sold his birthright to Yaakov. But before he sold his birthright to Yaakov, Yahweh had already pronounced when the babies were in, the twin babies were in their mother's womb, that the elder would serve the younger. He already said that Esau's people would be serving our people. All right? And Esau went ahead and he despised his elder birthright, and he seconded it and said, here, I don't care anything about this birthright, and he sold it to Yahweh. Yahweh already said who was going to be on top. But now, he said in Revelation that there's some people that are the synagogue of Satan, and they're lying, talking about they're Hebrews. All right, well, we're looking at the progenitor of these people, the forefather of these people, just like Abraham was the forefather of the Hebrews, who are our people. Well, here's this man, Iyshah, who's the forefather of the people that are of the synagogue of Satan, that are claiming that they are you and I.
Thus says Yahweh.
Let's read verse 39, please.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Verse 40.
And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Now this is critical right here. And Iyshah, his Abba, answered and Amar unto Iyshah or Esau, Behold, thy dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of Shemayim from above. Well, these people have the financial wealth, the fatness of the earth.
That's it.
All right? The physical wealth. All right? And it says, But by your sword you shall kaya, and shall ebed your ark. Talking about serving the Hebrews, which is us. But it shall come to pass, when you shall have the dominion. So, the Ruach told Yitzchak that there was going to be a time when we Hebrews, as a nation, were going to forsake Yahweh. Become hard-headed, stiff-necked, not do what Yahweh told us to do. And it was going to be right before that time that he was going to allow Esau's people to come out from under serving us. Now, in the future, they will go back to serving us. But we're in the time period when they broke that yoke from off of their neck, the servanthood which Yahweh gave to us. Why? Because our people rebelled against Yahweh as a nation.
That's it.
He said, by your sword you're going to live, you shall serve your brother. It will come to pass when you shall have the dominion. The dominion was given to us, the Hebrews. All right? But they broke the yoke from off their neck because of what we did, our forefathers did. All right, verse 41.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
All right, so he's upset. And Iyshah said, you know what, after my father passed, then I'm going to kill Yahweh. Well, this man, Iyshah, and Yaakov, his brother, they made up.
Yes, they did.
But his descendants
And never got over it.
still kept the grudge.
Right, never got
And
over
when
it.
you go through the scripture and do the research, you can see that every chance they get,
They were there
they
against
tried to
us.
kill off
Yep,
some of the Hebrews, the real Hebrews.
yep,
And they did everything they could to
yep.
help the Romans annihilate them. And so Yahweh lets us know he's got a grudge against these people.
Yes, he does. Yes,
And-
thus says Yahweh.
His vendetta is going to be fulfilled
Yes,
because
it
of what he did to us as a nation.
Right, right.
All right? But so this particular man and his brother, they made up.
Right.
But the people that Yahweh calls of the synagogue of Satan, they still have this thing against you
Right.
and I as the real Hebrews. All right? And they're claiming to be you. And again, they're not the only ones. Let's go to 2
Praise
Chronicles,
the mighty
the
God.
21st chapter. 2 Chronicles, the 21st chapter. So Yitzchak said that there was going to come a time when his son Iyshshah would break the yoke, would come out from under servanthood to us, the Hebrews.
They did.
Now, Gentile Bible scholars try to support the lie by saying the Edomites, who are Esau's people, have simply vanished.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, they've done all this research in the Bible. Then when they try to search out Esau's people and his descendants, all of a sudden they say, oh, we don't know what happened to them. They got infiltrated with other nations and stuff, so we don't actually know what happened to them. They just vanished. Well, they have not vanished.
No, they have not.
They're in the land of Israel, broadcasting to the world that they are the Hebrews.
Yep, yep.
And they're just one of the ones, but they're the ones that have the financial wealth
Right,
to
right.
broadcast it throughout the world.
Hallelujah.
All right, 2 Chronicles 21, and we want to start reading at verse 8. 2
Praise
Chronicles
the mighty God.
21. Now we're going to see where they got out from under the servanthood of the nation of Israel, which is the same thing as the nation of Hebrews.
Okay.
But it was because of our forefathers'
That's it.
disobedience.
That's it.
2 Chronicles 21, let's start reading at verse 8, please.
In his days, the Edomites evolved from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king.
All right, in his Yowm, you can read up further to see what king it was, but the bottom line is the nation of Israel was, or the nation of Hebrews were revolting against Yahweh and refusing to do what Yahweh told them to do.
Y'all right, bro.
It
Tell
says in
I
his
hear.
Yowm, the Edomites, this is the same guy we just read about in Genesis.
Right.
Revolted from under the dominion of Yehudah. That's the Hebrews, that's our people. And made themselves a melech. All right, now, our people went after them, but we're going to see what happened because they were in disobedience.
Right,
Yahweh
right.
let them stay free. All right, verse 9.
Then Jehoram went forth with his princes and all his chariots with him, and he rose up by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him in, and the captains of the chariots.
All right, verse 10, please.
So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. The same time also did Libnah revolt from under his hand, because he had forsaken Yahweh the Elohim of his fathers.
So you see why they got out from under serving us?
Yeah.
Because of what our forefathers did. Said then Jehoram went forth with his Nasi and all his chariots with him. This is talking about the Hebrews going forth. Every other time you can read about how Esau's people kept trying to revolt, trying to revolt. Every other time, our nation of Hebrews, the nation of Israel, will go out and put them back in captivity. But this time was different. Yahweh said, you know what, I'm tired of this.
Right.
I'm going to let them revolt. Now comes a time. But you see how Yahweh, through Ruach HaKodesh, showed Yitzchak that way back in Genesis.
Right.
That was going to happen.
Yes, he did.
All right. It said, and they smote the Edomites, which compassed him in, and the captains of the chariots. So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Yehudah, or the Hebrews, unto this Yowm. So they're still out from under the servitude position that Yahweh put them in. The same time also did Libnah revolt from under his hand, because what? He had forsaken Yahweh Elohim of his Abba. All right, let's go to Obadiah, or Obadiah, and it's just one book. And it's behind Daniel, I believe. So the English word Israelite is the Hebrew word Yisraeli. The English word Israelite is the Hebrew word Yisraeli. It's found as Strong's Hebrew number 3481, and it means of Israel or an Israelite. How many people in the world call themselves Israeli?
But one.
So, how did these people get the biggest jump on the other people who are claiming to be Hebrews? The Hebrews' constant rebellion against Yahweh
Okay, that's it.
in 70 AD allowed the Romans to take them out of the land of Israel for good.
Yep.
All right?
Yes.
Again, when you say the Hebrews, you're talking about Israel.
Right.
The Hebrews are Israel. Israel are the Hebrews.
That's it. We won.
All right?
The same people.
Obadiah or Obadiah, and it's only one chapter. And we want to read verse 6.
Hallelujah.
Obadiah, one chapter. Let's start at verse 6, please.
How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Now, here, Yahweh said there's some hidden things going on with Esau's people, with Esau's people, which are the Edomites.
Yep.
They're also called Teman, T-E-M-A-N, and the Temanites. They're also called Idumeans.
Yeah.
And when you search out in Scripture, you see that Herod, the one that ordered the killing of all the babies 2 years old and under in Bethlehem, was an Idumean or Edomite. So this is just where we saw where Esau hated Yaakov. They made up, but his people still hate the Hebrews. All right? So it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Yahweh.
So there's no way we could have known about this except Yahweh showed us.
That's right. The Ruach HaKodesh.
And again, the nation of Hebrews as a whole are clueless.
I know, right?
They
I know, right?
know nothing about this.
Don't know.
All right, let's read verse 7, please.
Sad.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and rebelled against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Now Yahweh is talking about here in Obadiah that there's a confederacy. There's a plot, a scheme going on. What's the scheme about? To keep the Hebrews themselves ignorant of who they are.
Yes.
Now we're going to see where Yahweh put them to sleep, but there's the majority of the world wants us to stay asleep.
Yes, they do.
Well, it's too late for us. Yahweh already woke us up. Now it's time for Him to use us to wake up.
Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God.
It says, all the men of your confederacy, your scheme, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at Shelomah with thee have deceived thee. You see over there in the Middle East, they're just fighting and thumping and blowing up and just all kind of stuff.
Yes.
Well, they came together to cooperate because all of them wanted the land.
Right.
And it's kind of like when you're in a den of thieves, then one thief will say, oh, okay, well, I'll let you take it. But really, the other thief wants it. So he's saying the men of your confederacy have deceived you. Yeah, so they're just backstabbing, and whoever gets it, they'll knock that one out, and they'll knock this one out. But it's our land.
Right.
Now, we already showed us the scripture where the nation, our nation as a whole, the nation of Hebrews, is looking at the people in the land.
I know, right?
And are clueless that the land belongs to them.
That's right.
All right, we're in Obadiah. We're going to skip down to verse 10. Now, the Edomites stole the Hebrews' identity.
Yep.
They will tell you that Yaakov stole Esau's birthright. But then they're claiming that they're Yaakov. So you see how they're playing the end against the middle?
Right.
But Esau sold the birthright to Yaakov. But the Edomites stole the Hebrews' identity.
Biggest identity death in the world.
All right? Just like this rainbow coalition of the nation of Hebrews is trying to steal your identity too.
Right.
Yeah.
All right? Obadiah, let's skip down to verse 10, please.
Hallelujah.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and that thou shalt be cut off forever.
Now Yahweh's saying he's going to be cut off forever for what he did to our forefathers. Now what did he do? Verse 11.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in that day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners entered into the gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou as one of them.
All right, so what they do in the Yowm that you stood on the other side, in the Yowm that the strangers, talking about the Romans, carried our forefathers away captive, and foreigners enter into our gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. They're still casting lots upon Jerusalem.
Yep.
In 1948, they cast a lot.
Right.
But before that, you had these so-called Caucasians who now say they're Arabs and different things. That whole world has been colonized by Japhethites.
Yep.
You always said that Japheth would cover the whole earth. So the people now calling themselves Arabs and Armenians and Iraqi and all that, those are all Japhethites.
Yeah,
Those
right.
are all Caucasians.
Yeah, right.
They have displaced
No.
all the people over there in the land.
Wow.
But he's saying, foreigners entered into our gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, said, Iyshah's people, you were as one of them.
Right.
They were over in there when the Romans were killing us and taking our forefathers out. They were trying to stake as much claim on Jerusalem, just like they're trying to do now.
Right.
All right? Same old song. Verse 12.
But thou should not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
Now Yahweh is counting down the things that they should not have done.
Right.
And when Yahweh brings punishment on people, we're not supposed to sit there clapping and talking about,
No, we do not.
Right,
No,
you
we do
deserved
not.
it,
Right.
this and this and this. I sent something to somebody because they sent me a article where this man was eating pork and he got a tapeworm in his eye. And it was about to make him go blind. And then he went to the doctor, and the doctor was able to get a 6-foot tapeworm out of his eye. And then somebody sent me back a text. See, that's what they deserve.
Right.
Yahweh said they weren't supposed to eat pork. Well, this man don't know nothing about what Yahweh said.
Right.
But that's just kind of on the order. Yahweh said,
Yep, that's it.
when he goes to punishing people, don't clap too loud because he said he'll stop.
Right.
That's the wrong attitude. He said, Esau, you shouldn't have looked on the day of your ark in the day that he became a stranger. After 70 AD, we got pretty much scattered over the whole world.
Yep.
And Yahweh completed the scattering with the transatlantic slave trade of the Hebrews. But we became a stranger. Then we started being called the lost sheep of Israel. You could also call us the lost sheep of the Hebrews.
Right.
He said, we became a stranger. He said, Esau, you shouldn't have rejoiced over the children of Yehudah in the day of their destruction. Neither should you have spoken proudly in the day of distress. See, you deserved it. Don't do that.
That's right.
All right, verse 13.
Thou should not have entered into the gates to the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldst not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their sustenance in the day of their calamity.
Our forefathers was getting killed and they're busy running into their house and taking this and taking that from them. He said, you shouldn't have entered into the gate of my am in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Right.
Verse 14.
Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither should thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
So you see, they also were letting the Romans know, oh, hey, there's one
Right.
hiding over there, there's one there and
They
there.
got away. Watch
And
him.
it kind of, I was watching this commentary on the Holocaust. And you know, we reap what we sow.
That's right.
And I'm just saying, you kind of see where there were people turning in, these people.
Right.
That was just as wrong as what these people
Right,
did here.
right, right.
So I'm not trying to justify it, but all
No.
I'm saying is, you reap what you sow.
Yep, thus
So
says
evidently
Yahweh.
there must have been some stuff that this particular nation did,
Yep.
and they were just reaping. It was horrible.
Yeah. Thus says Yahweh.
Hitler
You
and
reap what
the
you sow.
Germans did. But that's a case in point of what happened to our forefathers.
Right, right.
He said you shouldn't have stood in the crossway to cut off those, talking about our forefathers that did escape. They would have gotten away.
Right.
No, you shouldn't have delivered up those that did remain, pointing out and showing where the hiding places were in
Right,
the day
right.
of his distress. Let's go to Psalms 111. So you can tell the real Hebrews, because the people that are not Hebrews call men Yahweh's names. Psalms 111.
Okay.
They call men Yahweh's names. We Hebrews don't.
No, we know better than that.
Psalms 111, I'm going to read one verse, verse 9. Psalms
Hallelujah.
111 and verse 9 reads,
He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverent is his name.
That's
Alright?
it.
So here Yahweh says he sent redemption unto his Am. He's talking about us.
Right, right.
He has Sabbah, his Bereith forever. Kadash and reverend is his
His
Shem.
Shem.
And nobody else's.
No one.
So when we encounter people and they say, my name is R so-and-so,
Right, right, right.
we say, hello, pastor.
Yeah, brother.
Hello, messenger.
Yeah.
Hello, under shepherd.
Right.
You won't hear real Hebrews calling nobody reverend, but
I know, right?
our Father that's in heaven.
That's it.
And his Son. Because that's his name. Let's go to the New Testament, Matthew or Matthew's, the 23rd chapter. But the people that are not Hebrew call men Yahweh's names. Matthew's 23.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Come on now.
Revelation knowledge.
And speak it and teach it.
Matthew's 23, we're going to start at verse 7. Matthew's
Hallelujah.
23, let's read verse 7, please.
And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
Now, you have some people, again, the Hebrews that Yahweh has awakened out of spiritual darkness. The nation is asleep. But we as individuals,
Right.
we call nobody,
No one.
no man rabbi.
No, we do not.
Except Yahweh and Yahshua.
That's
No
it.
man rabbi. It said, they greet people in the markets and are kara of Adam, of men. See, we're of Yahweh. We're not of men. Rabbi, rabbi. What did Yahshua say about that? Verse 8.
But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Yahshua, and all ye are brothers.
He
Okay.
said, but be not you kara. You now, you Hebrews, don't be called rabbi. For Akkad is your Adon, even Mashiach, the Messiah, the anointed one, and all ye are Ak.
That's right.
He said, don't be called of men that. And again, people that are the synagogue of Satan, they call people these.
Right, right.
And some Hebrews that are following
Yes,
him,
they do.
they call men that.
Oh, yeah.
But here's Yahshua saying, don't allow people to call you that. All right, verse 9.
And call no man your father
Okay.
on the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven.
All right, you said call no Adam your Abba. You're talking about your spiritual father.
Right, right.
So if you're coming up in a temple or wherever you're going and you're addressing someone in a spiritual sense as your father,
Right, right, right.
then you're breaking what Yahweh said don't
That's
do.
a command.
He said, and Korah no Adam, your Abba, which is upon the earth. He's talking about a spiritual
All
father.
right.
For Akkad is your Abba, which is in Shemayim.
That's right.
All right, let's go to Exodus 34th chapter. So the people that are Yahweh said, lying and claiming that they're Hebrews, Exodus 34, they allow all kinds of religions in the land of Israel. We're going to read Exodus 34, where Yahweh set up the Hebrews in the land of Israel, and he told them, get rid of all these
Right.
people.
Other strange Elohims.
Exodus 34. People that claim to be Hebrews got all kinds of stuff up in the land of Israel. Exodus 34, let's start at verse 12, please.
Hallelujah.
Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. Let it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
All right, he said, take heed to yourself, lest
Yeah.
you make a bereat with the inhabitants of the land where you go. He's talking about going to the land of Canaan or the land of Israel. Lest it be a snare in the midst of thee. What did he say to do to them? Verse 13.
But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves.
So Yahweh is telling the Hebrews, the nation of Hebrews or the nation of Israel, our forefathers, this is what you do with them. Destroy their altars, break down their images, cut down their groves. Why? They had these groves where they would go among the trees and work the trees and different things.
Right.
He said, break all that stuff down, get rid of it.
Right.
All right, verse 14.
For thou shalt worship no other Elohim, for thy Elohim, whose name is jealous, is a jealous Elohim.
He said, for thou shalt shaka,
No.
serve, bow down, no other.
No.
else. For Yahweh, whose Shem is jealous,
Okay.
is a jealous Elohim. Now, I have this article, must-see churches in Israel. Now, the people that saying they're Hebrew, they got all kind of stuff up in there.
Right.
You can't walk 10 feet. You got another different church.
religion.
There you go. Must-see churches in Israel. These churches in Israel, especially Jerusalem, are among the most beautiful in the world for worship and sightseeing. Israel is home to an array of monumental churches scattered around the country. Here are 10 highlights from this important Holy Land attraction, including landmark Jerusalem churches like the Holy Sepulchre and the Church of the Nativity, St. Gabriel's Church, and the Basilica of the Annunciation in Nazareth, and others in the north especially worth a visit. Most of these churches in Israel are filled to the brim with visitors during peak holiday months for Christmas and Easter. But their architectural beauty and prolific ancient history make them worthwhile places to visit at any time of the year. You got the Church of All Nations. The church itself is Catholic. Now, you know when you go into a Catholic church, what do you see? All those images, right?
Yes. Right.
Yes. And contains multiple mosaics representing the 12 nations that helped fund it. The Church of the Nativity, one of the oldest continuously used churches in the world. The Church of the Nativity is more of a complex, as it also houses the Church of St. Catherine and the Grotto of the Nativity. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built on the site revered by Christians as a location of Yahshua's resurrection. The church has been a location of pilgrimage since the 4th century. Basilica of the Annunciation. The Basilica is the largest Catholic church in the Middle East and was built in 1969 over the remains of previous Byzantine and Crusader churches. St. Gabriel's Church. Now all of this, we just read the scripture where Yahweh said, tear this down, don't allow it. And you can go throughout the Old Testament when they were setting up Jerusalem and setting up in the land of Israel, where Yahweh told our forefathers, the Hebrew, what to do about these different religions. And he said, you shall not go after these other elves. You shall not learn their ways. You shall not engage in their religious practices. All right, you got St. Gabriel's Church, also called the Greek Orthodox Church of Annunciation. St. Peter's Catholic Church, Church of the Beatitudes, Church of the Transfiguration. So they, whatever thing they saw in the Bible, they, I'll name this church this, but it has nothing to do with what Yahweh said in the Bible.
Right,
It has
right.
nothing to do with what Yahweh said to do as a Hebrew.
Nothing.
Church of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes.
Huh.
This church is said to be where Yahshua multiplied 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes in order to feed 5,000 of his hungry followers. St. Anthony's Catholic Church. So that's just a few of the churches
Right.
that are in Israel. We always said get rid of them. All right, let's go to Genesis 9th chapter. So the Ruach had mentioned earlier about the people over there in the Middle East, and the whole complexion of the area has changed.
Yes, it has.
And you'll hear people referring to them as Arabs and this, that, and they're not. They're Caucasian.
Right.
Edomites are part of the Japhethites colonizing the world.
That right?
Just like you had them over there in the land of Israel. Talking about their Hebrews. Genesis 9, I'm going to read one verse, verse 27.
Hallelujah.
Genesis 9, verse 27.
Yahweh shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
So this is what's happened. Japheth, or the Caucasians,
Right.
Japhethites have spread over the entire world.
Yes, they have.
And they came over here to the Americas, they came to Mexico,
They
and
went everywhere.
they went everywhere. They went down into the land of Ham, into Africa.
Everywhere.
So they spread over the entire world. It said Elohim shall enlarge Japheth.
Yep.
He shall dwell in the tents of Shem. Well, we Hebrews come from Shem.
Right.
The nation of Hebrews.
Right.
He's dwelling in tents of Shem right over there in the land of Israel.
That right.
And Canaan shall be his Ebed.
Huh.
So now you got Afrikaners and
Right.
and they're all down into the land of Ham and building these beautiful mansions and different things, and got the original inhabitants underground digging up,
Right.
the coal for diamonds and different things. But they have colonized over there too.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Psalms 83rd chapter. So the Japhethites, colonization of northern Africa, Egypt, Iraq. So when you look at the Egyptians, those are Japhethites.
Right.
Iran, Turkey. It ended in 700 AD. We're going to Psalms 83. So that Japhethite colonization, whenever you're talking about anybody over there in the Middle East, if you don't see some of the original inhabitants, you're looking at Caucasian.
Yeah, right.
you're looking at Japhethites.
Right. So they have to know.
Now, they had completely colonized those lands by 700 AD.
Right.
Displaced the black original inhabitants.
That's right.
Whether they were Hamites or our people Shemites.
Right.
All right. Now they're all cooperating with keeping the secret about who the nation of Hebrews or the nation of Israel is.
Oh, yeah.
Psalms 83. Let's start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh.
All right, it says, Shema not thou silence, O Elohim, hold not thy shalom, and be not still, O Elohim. So, here's the psalmist saying, we read over in Obadiah, that Esau's hidden things have been searched out.
Right.
Well, we're going to find out, the psalmist is talking about the same thing that Obadiah was talking about.
Yes.
That he is trying to keep a lid on who the Hebrews are.
Right.
Yahweh already gave them the spirit of slumber. Men don't have to do anything else. Our forefathers brought this on themselves to be ignorant about who they are.
Right.
But a man thinks that he can go and kind of delay and stop things from happening and try to help Yahweh. And the Ruach had said during this series, all these people lying, talking about they're who we are, the Hebrews.
Right.
What they think Yahweh is just going to accept them. I mean, you got a Mexican tribe, and you got it's crazy.
Right.
Yahweh knows who his people are.
That right?
Right. All right. But the psalmist said, don't keep silent, Yahweh. Let your people know and punish all these people that are lying, claiming that they own the land of Israel and the land of Israel belongs to them.
Right.
All right, verse 2.
For lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Verse 3.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
Yes, they
and
have.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
So the whole point is for you not to know who you are.
That's it.
For you not to
God,
know that you are the
tell it like it
Hebrew.
is.
Says they have said, come and let us cut them off
Right?
from being a goee. And guess what? Israel cut themselves off.
That's
The
it.
Hebrews cut themselves off. But you see how people get vain in their own mind, thinking that they've done something?
Uh-huh.
It's like this wouldn't be happening if Yahweh hadn't allowed it.
That's it.
If our forefathers hadn't opened the
That's
door
it.
Yeah,
to
come
be
on,
in this condition.
Yeah.
He said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered.
Huh.
And it is, Abraham would be ignorant
All right.
of us as a nation,
Yep, yep.
and Israel would not acknowledge us
I
as
know,
a
right?
nation. Now, as individuals, yeah, because some of us do look like
Yeah,
we understand
yeah.
who we are. But it
Praise
said,
be to the mighty God.
come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Huh.
All right, verse 5.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Yep.
All right, so they're really against Yahweh.
Yes, it.
And what Yahweh said, and who Yahweh chose to tell people about his law, statutes, and commandments. Who
Hallelujah.
Yahweh chose to represent him.
Right.
So that's where what their bone is really picking on. And then
Yeah.
our forefathers, in ignorance and rebellion, went and cooperated by not standing up and being and doing what Yahweh told them to do the way he told them to do it.
Right, right.
But they're upset with Yahweh because they wanted to be picked.
Right, right.
But Yahweh picks who he wants to pick.
Hallelujah.
All right? And as the scripture said, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes, it is.
So it's not like, okay, I want to be Hebrew.
I
want
know, right?
Well, you got to do. You can't just stand up talking about, I'm a tribe.
Right.
Hey, then Yahweh's going to look at you and much is required of you.
Yep.
You're going to take on the title. You're going to take on what Yahweh said you're supposed to be doing too.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Now, be in name only. Let's go to Leviticus, the 11th chapter. So Abraham would be ignorant of the Hebrews today, and Israel would not acknowledge them because they don't even know they have a dietary law.
I know, right?
Leviticus 11. And I'm going to read one verse. Leviticus, 2 verses. Leviticus 11, let's read verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
Leviticus 11 and verse 1 reads.
Praise Yahweh.
And thy Elohim spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them,
Verse 2.
Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
Now, here is Yahweh talking to the nation of Hebrews, or which is the same as the nation of Israel. He's saying, and Yahweh amar unto Moshe and to Aharon, amar unto them. Amar unto Haban of Israel, amar. These are the beasts which you shall eat among all the beasts that are on Ha'eret.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can continue to read down, and he'll let you know what beast that you're supposed to eat.
Right, right.
And he'll let you know what fish you're supposed to eat.
Uh-huh.
Abraham would be ignorant of the Hebrews today because they're eating catfish,
Everything.
they're eating pork,
Everything.
they're stuck at this place. They've been advertising shrimp
Seafood, yes.
for a bargain for years.
I know,
I'm
right?
saying I don't know where they're getting all these shrimp from,
Right.
but when the Hebrew as a nation go to Chinese food, you get the lunch special, and they always give you shrimp fried rice.
Right.
So And the Hebrews, Abraham wouldn't recognize them because they want to make sure they get their shrimp fried right. So they want to make sure they get some crab, something or other.
Y'all right. Tell it like it is. So the hymns can know.
Let's go to Daniel, the 1st chapter. So Abraham would not recognize the
No, he would
Hebrews
not.
today. He wouldn't know them today. But the Hebrews, Daniel, going to Daniel, the 1st chapter. Cananiah, Mishael, and Azariah knew they had a dietary law.
Right.
Just like Yahweh woke us up, we understand we have a dietary law. Now, why? Because we are Hebrews.
All right.
Daniel 1. And here's some Hebrews that knew. And Yahweh has shown us throughout this series that He talks to the Hebrews.
Yes, He does.
And He tells them what to do and how to be.
Yes,
and
He
tells
does.
them what to tell people. And
Hallelujah.
He directs them every step of the way.
Hallelujah.
All right? These other people stand up claiming they're Hebrews. Yahweh is not saying not a word to them. Not a word. Daniel 1. Let's start at verse 8, please.
Hallelujah.
But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs, thank you, that he might not defile himself.
So now here's his Daniel, and he understood that there was a dietary law.
Right.
He understood there's some things he wasn't supposed to eat and drink.
Right.
It says, but Daniel purposed in his path that he would not defile himself with the portion of Hamelech's meat, nor with the yain which he drank.
Right.
So you see, there's even some wines and stuff that we're not supposed to drink.
Yep.
Therefore he requested of the Nasi of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. All right, and then you can read where the eunuch got nervous. When Daniel said, okay, you know what, we can't eat this, we can't do this. Well, yeah, some people say, well, you know, we in captivity. So excuses. You even have some religion that'll say, well, you can't eat pork except, you know, if there's nothing else to eat. You know, we didn't give you that stipulation. You better sew your lips up and starve. If that's all you got to eat, then you just better go on and die. So you can read the rest of this factual account in your own time, but we're going to skip that. Let's go to 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter. But these, Daniel and these other 3 men refused to eat. Right. And then you see with the factual account at the end of 10 days, they look better than others.
Yes, they did. Praise be to the mighty Yah.
And was eating that inferior food. And it's something that they said it was the king's meat, but yet it was low class, low grade. Like they'll tell you the world is upside down. They'll tell you, yeah, you know, the best food is you eat these old stinking, what do they call it, caviar, fish eggs. What's beluga or something, old nasty stuff, and people psych themselves out thinking that they're, you know, really, when they're rich, then they buy all this filth.
Right. Forget about the caviar.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they call it? Calamari.
Oh, yeah, and they name it a pretty name, calamari, which is just a snail sliding along. But the people have been brainwashed.
Escargot.
So Abraham would be ignorant in 1 Timothy, escargot, snails. Calamari is the clam strips.
Yeah.
Another little, just a lump of,
I know, right?
a blob.
I know, right?
Oysters.
Flesh, right. Same thing, just a blob, nasty stuff. So Abraham would be ignorant of the Hebrews, and Israel would not acknowledge him because they're praying food and eating it. 1 Timothy 4. And let's read verse 4. 1 Timothy 4 and verse 4.
For every creature of Yahweh is good, and nothing be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving.
Verse 5.
For it is sanctified by the word of Yahweh and prayer.
Now, for every creature of Elohim is tov, and nothing to be refused to be received with thanksgiving. Yahweh did say, everything he made was good.
Right.
He didn't say it was to eat.
Okay.
Just because you can catch it from scurrying away and put it in your mouth, that doesn't mean it's food. When you have a baby crawling on the floor, hey, they can see a roach, and if they can catch it fast enough, you better watch it because that'll be up in their mouth.
Right.
Yahweh didn't say everything was to be eaten as food. That's why he gave us in Deuteronomy and in Leviticus what is food and what's not. So it says it's sanctified by the Dabar of Elohim and halal tifala. Well, I know not to put some gross stuff on my plate, talking about I'm going to pray over and eat it, and that sanctifies it. If there was a rattlesnake and somebody put that on my plate, or let somebody put something on your plate that looks gross and nasty to you, you're not going to eat it.
Right.
You can pray over it all day long. You're still not going to eat it if you don't like how it looks.
Right.
But the thing is, Yahweh didn't leave it up to our looks. He told us, the Hebrews, what to eat and what not to eat.
Right.
All right, let's go to Isaiah or YHWH 66. Isaiah 66. So Abraham would not acknowledge him because they praying over food and eating it.
I know, right?
Isaiah 66, and we're going to start at verse 17.
Hallelujah.
Isaiah 66 and verse 17 reads,
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh.
all right, Yahweh said that some people praying over food and eating and sanctifying themselves. I can't sanctify myself. You can't sanctify
No, we
yourself.
cannot.
He said the ones that try to sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating what? Pork, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination, eating whatever. An abomination is what Yahweh said, don't eat.
Eat, right?
And the mouse
Right.
said, shall be consumed together, said Yahweh. All right, let's go to Genesis 17. So Abraham, the father of the Hebrew nation, obeyed Yahweh's commandment and circumcised his male children. He would be ignorant of Hebrews today because they don't circumcise their male children. Genesis 17. And we want to start at verse 9.
Hallelujah.
Genesis 17. And verse 9 reads,
And Yahweh said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
10.
This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Now, he said this option. This is a command.
Right.
And Elohim Amar unto Abraham. And now he's the father of the Hebrews.
Right.
And now that's one thing, one of these groups that really lied, talking about they're Hebrews, they just death on that. Ooh, 8 days. And they hold a big party and they, make sure they do that on the 8th day.
Yeah.
But then on the weekly Shabbat, they'll be out there playing golf and doing all kind of stuff that Yahweh said don't do. But certain things, they just death on it.
Yeah,
Why? Because they want to perpetuate the lie.
Right.
And they want to make, people think that, this is it, we're the real deal.
Yeah.
Yahweh knows what you are.
Right, yes, he does.
Elohim unto Abraham, thou shalt shemar my bereaved, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generation. So this is still supposed to be going on.
That's right.
This is my bereaved, this is my covenant, which you shall shemar between me and you and your seed after you. Every Adam Zakar among you shall be circumcised. And he didn't just say, remember I got an ex-in-law, talking about, what a Hebrews he was, and had a male child. And it wasn't until 2 years later, when the divorce was filed, that my relative and her mom was able to take him and get him circumcised. You understand?
Right.
Hebrews.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to black both the eyes, don't you? All right, verse 11.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Verse 12.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
So he told Abraham what the covenant was. He told him when to do it.
Right.
He didn't say do it on the first day the baby's born. Some people do that.
Right.
Okay, so let's circumcise him now because it's cheaper. This no. He said, come back in 8 days.
Right.
Do it. So he tells us specifics.
Yes, he does.
And then don't stand up talking about, well, they say, it's more convenient or whatever, the day that the child is born and get him circumcised. Stop. Right. Yahweh told you.
Thus says Yahweh.
Stop trying to second guess Yahweh. He said, you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of Ibryi betwixt me and you. He that is 8 Yowm old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generations that is born in the house or bought with money of the stranger, which is not of your seed. So this is something that's still going on. And bless righteous men of Yahweh because of what our forefathers did. There were men that our parents didn't know you were supposed to circumcise.
Right.
So they didn't get circumcised.
Right.
And my Iysh stood up, came to Yahweh at 40 years old.
Hallelujah.
And went and got it done.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And there's other men of Yahweh that have done the same thing once they saw. It's like, okay, hey, I no point in me going, why didn't you do that talking to your parents? Now it's on you. You grown.
That's right.
You're over 20 years old. Now it's on you.
Hallelujah.
And do you have some people they use it as a point of contention because they don't want to do that.
That's right.
But that's on you.
That's on them.
Yahweh said it's a covenant between me and you.
That's right.
So if you don't want to do that, then that's between you and Yahweh.
That's it.
All I know is I commend the righteous men of Yahweh
Hallelujah.
that stood up and did it. As a matter of fact, my first teacher, Brother Stearns, he had to do that as an adult. So, hey, this is what you do. This is just one of the sacrifices.
That's right. Praise be to the mighty
You
Yah.
know what? That put them so far ahead of people that don't want to totally submit to Yahweh.
You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Howard. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name?
Who are you? You don't know who you are. My brother's busy riding clean, trying to live ghetto stars, while I struggle in black queens with kids, no fathers, on welfare at the